I'm with the icon, Miley Cyrus. And I'm not the only person who's called you an icon recently. Beyonce
Hello,
did.
that was everything for me. That's not my ringtone.
I can't believe that you're still in a position where you fangirl and freak out over anyone,
Well,
really?
she's top tier.
She is,
She
at
really
the
is.
end of the
And
day.
getting to see her show live, it feels like a moment of where, you talk to someone about getting to see, Prince or someone that's the best of the best, or Michael
100%.
Jackson. I mean, she really is exactly what you'd want to see on and off the stage. And
Yes.
I think that kind of, the grace and the confidence that I think that she deserves to kind of have this queen essence surrounding her constantly, just because I do think it's so fluid between both of her worlds, and between the persona and personally, it's always been really well integrated. It feels like who she is on stage is an elevated kind of eccentric version of who she is day to day.
100%. And I mean, most of us really only see this queen that is on stage because she holds herself to such a high level when she's up there, and then is still so private and protective of her life.
Yeah.
And you speak about her with such reverence, and we've actually seen there are so many clips on social media of you speaking about her for your entire life and how much you've loved her. So I feel like that must have just been a really cool inner child moment.
Oh, definitely. My granddad got me a karaoke machine when I was in like late elementary school, and it came with Survivor. It had like 10 songs built into the machine, and that was one of them. I would do that, and honestly, my life really has been such a manifestation. It had that, and it had Debbie Harry, Titus High. I feel like it knew the girl that I was.
Yeah.
It was like, we're going to give you Destiny's Child, but we're also going to give you Debbie Harry. And then somehow this has become who I am.
Yeah. I mean, the universe has taken you on a journey. It's been really on your side. You've had ups and downs, but I feel like this album is such a wonderful retrospective of so much of your life, which we as fans have been so privileged to see so much of. I mean, we grew up with you in so many ways as well, and I feel like this record, it's your 9th studio album, right?
Yeah, and through everything, I mean, that's really the body of work, the 9th that's been released, but there's been so much music made before that and throughout the process, songs that have never been released that stayed really personal, or the fans have leaked online, which I've also gagged for. So sometimes, like, when the label says it's not the one and the fans go, it is actually, I live for that too. So I'm really proud of this album because a lot of our life is kind of shared, not first person sometimes.
Yes.
And so to be able to write something that feels personal but still through a lens of fantasy is something I'm really proud of, because I've never wanted, again, to kind of like what you've mentioned of Beyonce, being able to hold my personal life close to the chest and keep a sense of kind of privacy and this real sense of purity in my life, but then to also be able to share through this kind of fabulous and like fantastic way that we've been able to paint this picture is a really something I'm very been devoted to and excited about.
I mean, truly, the painting of the picture with this film is incredible. I mean, again, I'm a theater kid, so I feel like watching all of this go down, I was like, I want to see this on a stage. But you also feel like you're seeing it on a stage in a way, because the way you've created this is so personal, while also being able to use so many different like literal lenses, but also like visualizations that the viewer feels like they're going through. I know you said that you felt like, with Zane Lowe, you said you felt like getting the Grammy almost gave you a certain kind of permission to create in this way. Do you feel like this album still would have come or would have manifested itself in a different way if you had decided to not go, as you said you maybe wouldn't have, because you didn't want to admit that it meant so much to you?
Well, I think it gave me a level of confidence. I've always been someone that's had a really strong sense of self. Even when I was little, I didn't have any ground to stand on, and I was just like the one in my mind.
And it worked out.
So I was always convinced. And then there was a time that I think all of us go through where we start to question, that kind of little child version of ourselves that's still really curious and again, kind of like oddly confident and doesn't think, double question themselves. And I think the Grammys just really gave me, again, that kind of green light to go, you did it. The thing that you set your heart out for, you've done it. You couldn't have done more. Like, you know,
100%.
everything I wanted to achieve, I've gone really beyond that. And I think now when you think of an achievement, it can kind of feel like a list of tasks, which is not the world of art.
Yes.
You know, it's a world of, you know, that seems like a to-dos or to-gets. And I've always been more kind of focused on to be and like, who do I want to be?
Right.
And how do I want to be seen and expressed? And what do I want to, when I walk in a room, what do I want someone to, you know, feel when they see me? And right now I have people that come up and just say, you know, we feel like we know you even though we don't, or I feel like from watching you, you're like a friend. And there's also a level of respect that I've now been in the business long enough that I feel like I've cemented myself that I can take these kind of endless summer vacations and really push pause and go into my personal life and come back with a fire for what I do. So just really, again, I feel like the film is all encompassing of all these great things.
Yeah, I feel like you can interpret it in your own way as a viewer, and also I see your thought process throughout so much of it, which is like how some of the best art is created. I can hear your thought process, I can see it, but also interpret it in my own ways, and I think that's beautiful. I mean, it's so interesting for you to speak about wanting to have this permission or feeling like you there were moments where you weren't sure about certain things, when as a fan it's like we, exactly as you said, have seen you through this entire journey. You have been in the business.
It's about to be the 20-year anniversary in March.
I mean, that's insane.
I know. Trust me. I'm like, I want to design something really, really special for it, because it really was the beginning of all of this that now sits here today. It really, without Hannah, there really wouldn't be this kind of this me that it's so crazy to think too that I started as a character that I thought was going to be impossible to shed, and now that's something that when I walk into a space, it's looked at as this sense of kind of like nostalgia or something that you have from your childhood, but I've now been as kind of integrated into everyone's life as the character itself. So that's exciting to get to celebrate that.
That is such a beautiful way to put it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it changed my life as well. When I was in elementary school, I did Life's What You Make It for the talent show. I was so nervous, but I was blonde wig. I was like, I need to give this everything.
I always thought of Hannah Montana as like a high budget school play, right?
Oh, honestly, exactly.
It was like these little kids, like someone was like, you get like a studio in Hollywood and you get real directors and real cameras and real lighting. And we were like, let's do this.
But Hannah Montana was performing at the Staples Center every night.
Sold out every night. There's like a Hannah's Law, I think, where there was so many tickets being sold, like where the parents couldn't get them, people were buying them and selling them all like sketchy style. There's even a law about it.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, Hannah was giving.
And that was just the beginning. Now we're at the point where you're already getting a star on the Walk of Fame.
Love that.
I mean, how does that feel like a full circle moment? Does that feel like you feel super validated by it? What does that feel like? Because it's so, I mean, there are only so many people who can even speak to that feeling.
Well, I'm really honored by it, and it's something that comes with a lot of memories, and for that it holds a different kind of, it doesn't feel like a regular win. It feels like it's got kind of a heart first reaction. I think all of us kind of have like an emotional attachment from remembering coming to Hollywood for the first time and seeing the Walk of Fame and looking at these icons that, you know, have come so far before us, and they do get to live kind of in this eternal way because of their star being cemented and kind of concrete into this, you know, kind of iconic, I think it's the heart of Hollywood, really.
100%. And you're so young to be having one, which must be.
I'm trying to get all the things that need a public appearence done now. You know, the hair's hitting, the makeup is sitting, the wardrobe is on point. Like, let's get it done while we're hitting, and then I'm gonna go home for a little while.
And as you should.
You know?
It must have felt
Don't
obvious.
Stop once it's it feels like there's a flow to things. And I'm totally riding this wave for as long as it takes me. And then when it throws me out, I'll be just as happy.
I mean, it feels like you have gone very intuitively throughout your career. Mm-hmm. You do what feels right to you. And I feel like we can see that as the fans because it's authentic every single time. And I think that matters, that means so much to people who are consuming your art, because I know that this is who you are in this moment, but also it's still commenting with love on all of the eras that came before, which I think is beautiful, because sometimes it can be hard to look back at our past selves and be like, love.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like,
it's
oh
mostly
my
the
God.
looks that I'm like, oh, shame.
Yeah.
But you don't know what you don't know.
Right,
And,
right.
you know, I think also like self-expression for me through style has always been so important. So no matter what that looks like. And even in a world, I remember on the Dead Pets album, it was kind of anti-fashion because I felt like fashion was at a place where it was extremely exclusive. And what Dead Pets is really about is inclusivity.
Right.
It's right as I had started Happy Hippie Foundation and really setting myself as what do I want my life to mean? What am I going to do with this platform? And now I feel like fashion's really caught up. We see more inclusivity everywhere in kind of not just in fashion, just in all of, you know, I think in our day-to-day, we're starting to see just kind of what I've always really dreamt of become this reality. And so now I feel really excited to introduce fashion, you know, into this film, and it's become such an integral and important piece of it. But again, it's about taste, it's about style. It's not about the clothes being worn like a mannequin or a model, but having them actually take on the music and allowing to breathe life into them, because otherwise I don't really have interest. I've never been somebody that cared much about putting a painting on a wall.
Sure.
I've always, one of the silliest things I did was I got a great piece of art, one of my first pieces of art, and I painted on top of it because that's the person I am. I wanted to be integrated into it.
Right.
And I think for me, just hanging something up as a trophy and for it to not feel integrated into our lives, it just never felt really interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, the fashion throughout this entire film, you can feel is part of the story that's being told. Not only is it part of the story through the kind of things that it's commenting on through each song, I mean, the looks in general alone, it's like a black dress with like a gold metal corset. I gasped. That was one of the best outfits I've ever seen, period. You looked so incredible, but also the way you're wearing it in the song it adds this dynamic to the song that makes me understand it and relate to it in a new way.
We always wanted to really celebrate quality. I feel like with this album, it's a really important piece of the design, is really taking the time, the devotion and dedication to create something that lasts.
Yes.
And these pieces, because they're archival, they have lasted throughout decades even before me. And I think that's kind of our way of symbolically recognizing that things that come easy or aren't made well, it can't really actually sustain. But when things are done with a certain level of care and focus and intention, they really can stand through generations and feel modern even 30 years later.
Yeah. I mean, you're also, even in these gorgeous outfits, able to move so well throughout so much of the film, which I feel like there were certain, I mean, the movement in the dance in the film seems like it was very important to the whole thing. I see Fosse references.
Hello.
I see Broadway.
Fosse is every Sunday with my mother. We are giving Fosse out by the pool. Like we are doing. We just got asked the other day what kind of like brings our family together, and it's choreography. Every Christmas there is at least an 8 count.
As there should be.
Everyone sits on the couch.
8 count at minimum.
Yeah, we get the 5, 6, 7, 8, and we've got like some choreo.
Okay, good.
Yeah, last year it was Hey Sis, It's Christmas.
Okay.
So all of us had our little boom boom, and we're always going to have the choreo on point.
100%.
That comes from Mama Tish. My mom was a dancer. Wow. It's still very traditional over at her house. Like if you don't get it right, we're starting from the top.
Yep.
There's no
take it again.
We're going to keep it sharp.
Yep.
Yeah.
From the top.
And the fingers are very important. You know what I've heard is you're only as charismatic as your pinky. So the pinky needs to look alive.
That is very Fosse. Yes, Tish knows her stuff.
Boom, 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 boom. You got to keep it like even when you're just sitting at the table, you're like, I'm only as charismatic as my pinky.
Yeah. Did you like have a vision for so many of these things before they were created, or
absolutely?
Is what we're seeing an evolved version of it, or did you know immediately?
No, there was. I mean, of course, everything has been made to fit. I'm very in. Even if something is, something that's a runway piece, I don't really customize anything archival because I just think that these designers has a vision and I like to keep them intact. But when it comes to something that the way I wear them, I always think, is this something that I can? But I never will, honestly. I'm just not that girl that's going to adapt to look to my moves. I'm going to adapt to the wardrobe, okay?
Yes.
Because like the dress is a must.
Yep.
And like if we can't do this, we'll do this. Like it's about making sure that for me, I feel that there's certain like, it also kind of changes because sometimes there's a vision of like flowers. The gold dress, it came first. Like, I didn't care what else happened. I just needed that dress. I just knew that. And there was nothing that I hiked a mountain in that dress. I got in the pool in that dress. Like, I can do anything in that
she
dress.
Was going
so there's not really much I can't do in a dress that I love, because if you've got you've got the desire.
Yes.
And when it comes to a dress, when I'm in love with it, it's just, I'm going to make it work.
Yeah. And you do, because I would never be able to really clock that you are saving some of the movements while in a gorgeous dress, because you are moving.
Yes.
You are giving it, you're in your body. You're a rock star.
You better work. And if things shred, rip, or tear, it just makes it all the more beautiful. It
That's
feels
part of the
like
story.
that's part of the story. Hello. And it makes it iconic. Like, someone will be like, see that little tear right there on the arm? That was from the Reborn video. And now it's got like history to it.
Yes. I can't wait to walk through.
We're not too
museum of
precious
your
with the
outfits.
wardrobe either. We allow it to, like, it gets drenched in Reborn.
Truly.
Drenched.
Drenched.
It's, we are never too delicate or too precious with these items. Don't tell me glare, because we've always returned it in perfect condition.
Yeah, of course. Return. I mean, every outfit that you wore throughout the whole thing, as you said, actually, in one of the other interviews too, everything was intentional. Outfit, strand of hair, note. I mean, you write so well for your voice, with also such like freedom throughout the entire record, while also like we as fans have loved your voice for 20 years of our lives. I am so excited for everyone to see this.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I cannot wait to continue watching it. I can't wait to see the Broadway version.
I'm already, trust me, I'm already thinking about that. We've got
Period.
Yeah.
Yes.
Forgiving storyline.
Yes.
Because, a lot of the things that I think happen that are magic are the things that happen in the moment that we didn't expect. When we watch the film, there's so many things that we never had written down that we wouldn't have created.
Right.
Like, Pretend You're God wasn't even meant to happen. Pretend You're God, it was never going to be in the film, and then basically the dress was on the hanger, and it didn't need to be on the hanger. It needed to be on me. So we just had to make the entire video. Like, then they were like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, well, I'm just going to, I'm going to sing this song that the day that I wrote it was a super emotional day for me. And I just thought of all those things and put it right there. And you didn't need more of a concept. You needed a dress and a story, and then boom.
No, and you know yourself so well now.
Thank you.
Like, after being in the game for so long, you're everything.
Thank
you're everything.
you. I love for that.
Love you so much.
Thank you.
I love this album. Everyone
you.
watch the film. Everyone listen to the album. Everyone love Miley.
Thank you.
Live, laugh, love.
Love.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything.